everybody. I hope you are all doing well and staying home. Keep yourself safe, practicing safe distances, washing those hands for 20 seconds while you sing the happy birthday song twice, I think. So my hands are getting raw on the sides, so I'm having to use my gardener ointments on my hands, and I'm not even hardly gardening at all, so because I'm staying inside a lot, and my garden that I have access to is not at my home, so I'm gardening in containers at home. I have to stay home a lot right now, which is really kind of sad because I have a lot of things that I need to be doing in the community garden. But I have to limit my access to people because I have a compromised immune system. I have asthma, and my son also has a compromised immune system. So I don't want to bring anything home that will make him sick either. He insists that he's fine, but I'm a mom and I worry. So anyways, I haven't been able to make a video in a while because I've been having problems with my camera, running out of batteries, things like that. So, but I figured something out. I can use my my Amazon Fire as a camera. So it's not as good quality as my digital camera, but we're going to make it work. And I have some important information to share with you. So one of the things that we talked about earlier was mid-March here in my area of the Pacific Northwest. We're planting USDA planting zone 8A. It was time for us to plant potatoes and peas and onions. So we did that in the garden, and I wanted to record it, but like I said, I was having camera problems. So I kept trying and it just didn't work. So I thought, since everybody's staying indoors and only able to garden in their own yards, and trying to practice safe social distancing, that I would share some gardening tips every couple of days. It helps give me something to do and something new for you to learn. So I thought that I would talk about what you are supposed to be planting right now. So, and I can go through that every week to help keep you updated so that you know what things you need to be growing. And I hope you have access to seeds, and try not, if you don't have access to these seeds that I'm talking about, try not to be a hoarder. We don't want to engage in those behaviors. A little bit of seed goes a long way. And if you practice seed saving for a lot of your seeds, you will have seeds for the future. So please do not hoard seeds. I'm already hearing of that happening in my area. Luckily, I have had seeds for many years. I'm always working on building up my stock of seeds, and I get donations because I run a community garden, so I have a really good supply of seeds. And I offer those seeds to all my gardeners that are in the community garden. So I'm going to share any of my things that should be planting, and this is pretty general for most of North America. It's not specific just for my area, but I of course will highlight things that are especially needing to be grown in this area. So today I'm going to talk about vegetables you should be paying attention to and trying to get planted this week. And then I will do a video on later on in the week, what herbs you should be planting. And then I will do a video on the weekend of what flowers you should be planting. Even though herbs and our vegetables are really important for keeping the insides of our bodies healthy, it's also important that we focus on flowers too. Especially, it's really cool to grow edible flowers, so I'll highlight some of those when I do the flower starting times. And then there's also a lot of flowers that you should grow in order for you to have, bringing in the pollinators into your garden to pollinate all your vegetables that need pollination for production. So the flowers are important. So, and also beautiful, which is really good for us emotionally and helping our spirits when we get connected to nature, and humans just love flowers. Most of us. I suppose those of us that have allergies to pollen, maybe not so much, but I have those to stagger it out a couple more weeks. So always look up your planting zone so you know what area you're at. Remember, I'm in zone 8A, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the temperatures are where I'm at. Now, always paying attention to your frost dates, the information that's on your seed packets of when to plant. But this is general advice for folks that are in my region. So folks that are in zone 6, 7, and 8, 9 right now. These are the things that you should be planting in the ground by seed. So one of the first ones is arugula. Arugula can be started in the ground now. Arugula is a great vegetables kind of herb to add to your salads. Like it's a bitter, so which is really good for your gut. But I wouldn't do like a whole salad of just arugula, but it's great to add to your salads to add a little extra flavor. And this is one of the varieties by Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds that I recommend. It's the Pronto. It gets going, and pretty fast, and it's less likely to bolt. Arugula is one of those plants that you want to plant with a lot of your greens, like your salad greens, in an area where it's not going to be exposed to sunshine in the afternoon. So if you can keep it where it's only in the sunshine in the morning, it'll be much happier, it'll last longer, and it's not going to bolt as quick. So that's my top tips. One of the next things you need to be paying attention to is broccoli. So broccoli is one of those brassicas. And when you see that it's time to plant broccoli, it's time to plant all the brassicas. So I have two of my favorite broccoli varieties that I'll be planting. And remember, this is not starting them indoors. You would have done that in early February, late January in our region. So you could be planting your starts of your broccoli that you started earlier. Now it's time, if you want to get a nice big patch of broccoli going, now it's time to plant it by seed in the ground. So this is one of my favorite regular broccolis. It's a smaller heading broccoli. We have trouble with insects and stuff here, so the smaller sprouting broccolis do better here than the big huge heads of broccoli, and they're so delicious and tender, especially when they're just fresh harvested from the garden. And talking about seed savings, I like to, if I don't have other brassicas, which includes kales, and mustards, if I don't have any of those going, I like to let them go all the way through in the summer, late summer. They go through flower. You can eat the flowers, they're delicious on a salad. And then save the seed of my broccoli. So this one's called Green Sprouting Calabrese. It's a really good, delicious one. And then my very favorite broccoli, I think I've talked about it before in one of my other videos of seeds that I was starting earlier, was the Romanesco. Romanesco is a beautiful variety of broccoli, and it grows in that Fibonacci sequence, in that spiral. It's just beautiful, tastes delicious. I love making a cream of broccoli soup with it. I just love it. It's really delicious and creamy starts. So I do recommend that you start by seed some cabbages right now. So that's red or green cabbages, and cabbage is one of those great vegetables that you can ferment. and make into krauts, which is really good for the gut, and then you have something stored in your pantry. I know a lot of people are thinking about food security and paying attention to vegetables that will be long lasting, that you can or ferment and put into your cabinet, because we don't know how long this whole coronavirus thing is going to go on. So cabbage, I'm definitely recommending cabbage. It's a definite staple in the garden. Then some of the next ones you want to be paying attention to is carrots. I love the little finger carrots. Those are great for growing in containers, and they don't have to be really deep. Like 6 inches deep is a great one for carrots, and they're called little finger. And then there's these little Parisian ones that are like a round carrot. They're about this big around. They're just cute and so delicious. Don't be afraid of carrots that look different. The original carrots were actually white, so more like a parsnip. So there's lots of different kinds of carrots out there, and it's a great vegetable. It's going to store for a really good long time. So collard greens, now is the time to plant collard greens by seed. They grow really well in my region. They grow really well, of course, in the south. Now is the time to plant them. They're really great to add into, to saute them, to stir fry them, to add them into slaws, like coleslaw. Just shred them up and put them in there. Oh, they're so delicious. They're fried greens. Shred them and put them into soups and stews. It's a great way to get all this nutrition and fiber into your body. So collard greens. And and this one is called Georgia Southern. It's a really delicious variety. We wanted to do, you're still at the tail end of starting by seed corn salad or mache. I love corn salad. It grows really well here. It's a great replacement for spinach. If you're out of spinach seed, try growing corn salad. I know you can get corn salad from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed. It grows really well here, and I grow it and just let it go to seed, and I let it self-seed, and I always have a harvest of corn salad. Corn salad and kale and collard greens are the 3 vegetables that I can harvest here in my zone all winter long. I can always have access to them. And it's a vegetable, the corn salad, that it's a salad green. It's going to be, if I'm planting it in an area where it's not going to be in the sun in the afternoon, it's going to grow great and prolific for me, and keep it from bolting too soon, because you don't want it to bolt too soon. So I suggest corn salad. It's, like I said, like spinach. You could use it as a replacement for spinach. It grows really low to the ground in a little bunch, and it is very similar to the flavor of spinach, but without the grittiness. Sometimes spinach can taste a little gritty, and it just has a smoother spinach taste. So I recommend it. Try something new. Then one of the next ones is Endive. Endive is another one of those bitter specialty greens, but it's really great to grow. And there's some complicated stuff that they do to what they call blanching. You can see kind of the center of this endive has that white center. That is a really convoluted process. I've tried to do it. I've had minimal success with it because it's really high maintenance. I prefer vegetables that aren't as high maintenance. But endive you can grow just as a regular green. You don't have to worry about doing the blanching. If you have the time and the resources, go ahead and try doing the blanching, because it makes it really beautiful and delicious, and it's considered a gourmet green. But it's a great time to be starting endive or radicchio. Radicchio is another one of those greens that you can blanch, but I think it's beautiful. They look like little cabbages, but they're more like a texture of a lettuce. And they're really beautiful. And I just saw in the community garden last week that my radicchio survived the winter and is coming back up. That it got hit, of course, by winter frost, and now it's coming back because I don't cut my vegetables back. Remember in my class that I had last week, I leave them there because I don't want to ruin my soil. And radicchio is one of those ones that came back with no problem. And then kale. Kale is a standard bearer, especially in my region. Now is the time to plant your kale seed. There's all these beautiful, wonderful kinds of kale. My favorite kind is the dinosaur or lacinato kale. It's very strong, less likely to bolt than the other kales like your curly kales or your purple kale. And the ragged jack, oh my gosh, it just grows so easy, like with no maintenance or care at all. And I just grow a nice big patch, and I harvest like 4 leaves from each plant and just keep harvesting all the way through winter. And then lettuce. Now is the time to plant your lettuce in the ground by seed. It was too early or too cold to do it in the ground earlier. If we did do it in the ground in earlier in March, we had to do it with cover. Now you don't have to do it with cover in this area. One of my favorite lettuces is the red sales. It's such a beautiful lettuce. Tastes so delicious. I don't grow a lot of head lettuce. I grow a lot of cutting lettuces. I think this one, or it'll say lettuce leaf. See how it says lettuce leaf at the top? Those are more of the lettuces that I grow because I want them to have a continuous harvest instead of having to wait for the lettuce to get to form a big head. And just like the kale, I'm harvesting a couple leaves from each plant every week. And if I have a whole bed full of this lettuce, I have tons to harvest, even though I'm only taking 2 or 3 leaves from each plant every week. So this is the one I recommend. But there's so many different varieties of lettuce that you can grow. You should check them out. Another one, mesclins. I didn't grab any mesclin blend. I think I planted a lot of it already. Started indoors at the Hopewind greenhouses. So, but mesclin, it's time to plant those. It's time to plant your mustards, mustard greens. Another great green. This one is a little bit, mustards are a great green that is has a lot of flavor, has a lot of punch. And when it gets hot in the summer, they get really super spicy. So it's a great addition to, you can even put it in your salads or tear it up and put it in your soups and your stews or make fried greens. Yum. It's time for your Asian greens, so like pak choy and tatsoi. You want to be starting those by seed in the ground now. Your root vegetable parsnips, rutabagas, it's time to start planting those in the ground by seed. What's great about those types of root vegetables is they're very, very hardy. And they're a vegetable that you can plant in the spring and then also plant in the fall, because here in this region, when we plant the parsnips and rutabagas and turnips in the fall, we can leave them in the ground and harvest them through the winter. So I do 2 crops of those. And I will share, again in the fall, I'll share what you should be planting in the fall to harvest through the winter until spring. So you have food that you're harvesting from your garden all year round. So it's, as we have been doing for several weeks, it's time to plant peas. So make sure you're planting peas. This is a variety that's a bush variety. So pay attention when you're planting your peas or you're purchasing your seed. Whether they're a pole pea or a bush pea. Bush peas are great for growing in a container because they're going to stay small and compact. And of course the climbing peas, they're going to need a structure to climb on in order to produce and be healthy. So this is a great one for containers. And I've even planted the climbing peas in hanging baskets. and then the peas grow down the side on the vines. So that's another suggestion for you if you have the climbing peas. It's also time to plant potatoes. Mine are all planted. This is my empty box of potatoes. I planted these in the community garden, and these are going to be a great harvest. So remember, it's time for planting those potatoes. Then it's also time to plant purslane. If you're lucky to live in the Southwest, it just grows naturally. Make sure you're harvesting it from an area where there's not a lot of foot traffic. So with purslane, just make sure if you're harvesting it in the Southwest, it just grows everywhere. Make sure you're harvesting it from a safe space, not like on a sidewalk or next to a building or something like that, or in a place where there might be toxins in the soil. But it just kind of grows naturally everywhere. But if it doesn't grow in your area, now's the time to plant it by seed. Then the next thing that you should be starting now is radishes. Now's a great time to be starting your radishes. And this is one of those crops that grows so fast. So like you can start harvesting radishes. There's some varieties that'll produce in like a month and a half. So radishes are a great vegetable. You can plant them heavy and eat the babies when you're thinning them out. That's what I usually do, and then I have the extra food. And this is such a cool radish. Look at that. It's called a watermelon. Isn't that great? I just love that. So radishes there's some that are mild, there's some that are really, really strong. There's some that grow in different shapes and sizes, just like carrots, where some are round, some are really tiny, some are really big. I grew these big hailstone radishes last year. They were huge, like the size of a baseball, and they were really good. There's like the daikon radish that looks almost like a carrot. It grows really long and cylindrical. There's the icicle radish. Lots of different great types of radishes. Radishes are another one of those vegetables that's really good to ferment or add to your pickles and stuff to add a little bite. So, and it's a great thing to add to your salads because you can add a little bit of bite to your salad. So grow some radishes. And before we had to cover up those radishes. Now you can just plant that seed directly into the soil. Just a couple more spinaches. I found this new variety that I'm going to try this year. It's called mustard spinach. It's more like an Asian green. Like I said, I haven't grown it before, so I can't give you tons of information about it, but it's supposed to be like a cross in flavor and texture between mustard and spinach. So I'm going to try it and see how it is, and I'll let you know how it grows. We'll take pictures of it and stuff and see what happens. But now is the time to be planting spinach, just like where I was telling you about the mache corn salad. It's also time to plant regular spinach. So the Bloomsdale spinach is really good. So go ahead and get that spinach planted. And I think that's the last. Turnips. Just like I was saying, your parsnips and your rutabagas, it's time to plant turnips by seed in the ground. Another one of those great vegetables that you plant in the spring and then you plant in the fall, and it's a staple root vegetable that you're going to be harvesting all year round. So make sure you don't forget about all those roots. Roots are great roasted, pickled, fermented, put into your soups and your stews, chopped up real fine. So make sure you're getting some of those root vegetables in your diet. Root vegetables provide that real good food for your beneficial bacteria in your gut, so help keep you healthy in your gut. So, and that helps boost your immune system when your gut is healthy. So, well, thank you for joining me today, and I hope this gave you some ideas of things that you want to plant in your garden right now. And in a couple days, I'll have a video on herbs that you should be planting by seed in your gardens or containers right now. So thanks for joining me, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and sign up for the alerts so you can know whenever a new video is posted. And If you would like to support me and my work in the community gardens, there's links in the description below. I really appreciate your support. And if you like this cool unicorn shirt, I made it. And I have some other sizes available. So be sure to check out my Facebook shop too. And I'll have links to everything in the description below. And let me know if there's something you guys want me to share with you or to research for you, or if you have a suggestion for a topic you'd like me to cover. And Butters, you don't need to take a bath right now. Sorry, he decided to start cleaning himself in an inappropriate place. Say bye, Butters. Butternut Squash the cat says goodbye. Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Stay home. Think about others. Be compassionate. Love you.
Oh, and
I want to do a big shout out to, let's see, I've got Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I've got Botanical Interest Seeds. I've got Fairy Morse Organic Seeds and Ed Hume Seeds. Some of these are, the Ed Hume is local to my area. Botanical Interest is local to folks that are in Colorado. And I'm not sure where Fairy Morse is based out of. And Baker Creek is based out of Missouri. I used to live really close to there. I miss being able to go to the seed store there and to visit the farm there in Missouri. So shout out to Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Thanks for all the hard work you're doing and saving all these wonderful heirlooms. So just want to thank all those companies for providing seeds for all of us so that we